I took the French classes in Nice, and I also did the cooking option. This is called the Atelier Gastronomique, which is where we had our cooking classes. This is the terrace where we would often have our meals after we cooked them. The classes were very small, and which were great because they were personable. These are some of the dishes that we made. These are only some of the few that we made. We often would make a 3-course meal. Classes were for 3 hours, twice a week. Here's the chef, who would often teach our the lessons, and she would often cater everything to our needs, and she was very helpful. The classes themselves were taught in French, but yet somehow it was very easy to understand the entire class. The processes. So here we're preparing for dessert. She would often also teach us about technique. In this case, she's teaching about how to split open a peach. Seems simple, but she would make it even more simple and use the techniques that she herself learned in cooking school. This is a carpaccio, a very delicate but delicious food. This is salmon wrapped in bacon with a tarragon sauce, which was absolutely delicious. A mousse of chocolat with raspberry sauce. And of course tiramisu, which was so delicious. Here she's explaining about the courgette, which is a zucchini from Nice that has a flower on top. What we did with this is we cut it in julienne style. We used it for soup, and we even stuffed it with ricotta. So this is the ricotta that we use for stuffing of the flower part of the courgette. These are the shrimp that we used for the chicken stuffed with shrimp, basil, red peppers, and tapenade, served with a crumble of Parmesan cheese. Like I mentioned, she would also teach us technique. So here she's teaching us how to split open, make a fillet out of a leg, which is something that you would not normally use, and it would come out absolutely extraordinary. So she would go through the process step by step, and then she would do it first, and then she would come to each one of us and teach us how to get to this point. As you see, the classes were slowly taught so for better understanding. This is how she would initially start in order to debone the chicken leg. Une fois qu'on a fait ça, là je vais chercher mon autre partie d'os. J'ai un repère qui là il y a une grosse artère. Telling us what bone to find in order to make a cut. Vous êtes sur l'os, d'accord? C'est ce qu'on va faire. Voilà. Donc là, hop, d'un côté et de l'autre, d'accord? Je dois avoir la tête de l'os, cette partie blanche. Je ne suis pas la couper, surtout pas, et je dégage tout. Le but c'est que je voie toute l'ossature d'un coup d'œil, d'accord? Ça c'est la première chose à faire. D'accord? Donc là, j'ai tout l'os, ok? Une fois que je suis là, c'est bon, je vais commencer à couper les joints. So here she's getting towards the final steps. Je passe mon couteau et je mets à plat. And this is the poussaderie, which is very typical of Nice, which is with a red fish that's served on top of a kind of like a pizza with onions. This is a delicious dessert. Here are some classmates in the terrace after having a fine meal. This was an extraordinary experience.